Hello everybody and welcome back. This is JudiciousFire. I'm on the iOS server. Checking in with you with my fourth YouTube video. This video today is going to be focusing on what I think is probably the most important aspect of the game. Which heroes to use. I call my favorite heroes the Sweet 16. The Sweet 16 is comprised of 15 heroes that I use in a specific game mode, and in addition, Pumpkin Duke, who I consider to be essential for your development of your account and progression through the game. These Sweet 16 are, in my opinion, the strongest heroes in the game, the heroes that work best with one another, that synergize with each other to create a wall of defense against attackers, the enemy. Let's take a look at the Guild Hub. Today is January 6th. It is an active day, it is Guild Wars Day, it is also Fortress Feud Day. It's my second video today because it's back to work tomorrow. As far as today is concerned, I'm going to be going through these 16 top heroes, this Sweet 16 if you will, and I'm going to be looking at every aspect of the hero. Talents, insignias, pets, destiny, as well as breakthrough levels. Now, I've gotten some questions over the last maybe 2 weeks about breakthrough levels. I've been asked, what are your breakthrough levels? Are all your heroes at level 20? How much money are you spending on this game? I want to let you know and be very, very transparent. I'm going to show you the breakthrough levels on my favorite and top 16 heroes. You're going to see that I don't have a single hero that is past level 7 in breakthrough. And if I don't have any hero with more than level 7 in my Sweet 16, then where am I putting anything that's of a higher level? On Dracax? No. So I'm going to show you today exactly where my favorite heroes are in terms of their breakthrough development. And I'll certainly be doing a video in the future on breakthrough itself, that addition to our game. I'll show you all 98 heroes in my altar, their current breakthrough levels, but as of today, we're just looking at our top 16. Now, I came up with this 16 for a very specific reason. We look at the game modes available in Castle Clash. You look at hero trials. You have a maximum of 6 heroes that you can use. You look at Here Be Monsters, again, a maximum of 6 heroes. You look at the team dungeons, Lava, a maximum of I believe, 5 heroes. You look at Team Here Be Monsters, your Infernal Summit, a maximum of 6 heroes. You look at Lost Realm, a maximum of 5 heroes. Labyrinth, I believe it's a maximum of 9, perhaps 10. You look at Arid Ruins, again, 9 or 10 heroes that you're able to use. There is one specific game mode that requires the use of 15 heroes, and that is Lost Battlefield. Now, Lost Battlefield is accessed through the Fight Now building, the Arena building, and you can see that 5 menu items pop up. Now, in something like Squad Showdown, the one all the way to the right, you're using heroes that are predetermined. They're not even your heroes. Lost Battlefield, now one to the left of it, you're using up to 15 heroes or 3 teams of 5. It is important to keep in mind that since the top number of heroes that you're using in any game mode is 15, that you can build a game-winning account with simply 15 heroes, if you choose to do so. If you're a free-to-play player, if you are a small spender in this game, maybe $10 here, $20 a month, then it is essential to put your resources into your top 15 heroes. That way you can do every single game mode in Castle Clash and do it successfully. Get the question a lot, which heroes should I evolve? Which heroes should I level up? What's the best talent for heroes? First of all, let's determine which heroes we actually want to evolve, level up, and put good talents on. So 15 for Lost Battlefield, plus a bonus hero. And that bonus hero is Pumpkin Duke. He makes the 16th hero on my Sweet 16. Pumpkin Duke is essential for the development of a starting account. I would say during the first 2/3 of this game and your progression through your account, you're going to be using Pumpkin Duke on a near daily basis. Now, if you've been around a little while, if you've developed your account to a certain degree, you might only be using Pumpkin Duke to take on demons, take on Archdemon, things of that nature. But always, until he's replaced, we're going to have a Pumpkin Duke at our side, and we need to have him ready and available. So I'm going to look at these 16 heroes today. Let's go to the Heroes Altar, and let's enter in. Now, what I have done, I have removed all of the pets, all of the nonsense, all of the distractions from all of the heroes except the 16 that I'm going to be looking at today. I have made some notes. The notes are based on which pet I recommend for these 16 heroes. You will see that the 16 that I'm going to show you do not have these pets necessarily attached to them. Today is a Guild Wars day. That means I'm trying to put up a base defense. I'm only using 6 heroes to defend my base. And I've switched things around in order to make sure that I can put up as good a defense as possible. That does include pets as well, but my notes will take care of that. Let's move to our very first hero of our Sweet 16. Commodore. Commodore is an amazing addition to the game. She's a relatively new hero. She has a skill called Drop Anchor. It destroys pretty much anything around it. She's a base buster. She's very much like a Minotaur, very much like a Little Nick or a Dread Drake in her ability to destroy buildings. She gets an attack increase. She gets a ton of damage thrown at the enemy, and she heals herself. Keep that in mind when I show you the insignia choice. I have chosen Vital Boon. There's a reason that I did this. Vital Boon not only raises her health, which will help when she's healing herself, but in addition, it removes the buffs of the heroes that are attacking her. Vital Boon is a talent that only activates when the hero is attacked. Let's go back to her skill. Drop Anchor skill. Now, IGG, Castle Clash, they give us relatively little information about heroes. For Commodore, the Drop Anchor skill will not activate unless she is taking damage. She has to be up in front, getting hit for the Drop Anchor skill to work. You got to put her in the front of your teams. You got to send her out first on the board and make sure that she's taking damage. This is why I paired it with Vital Boon, a talent that requires taking damage to activate. On Commo, I would typically run Doom Balloon. She is a base buster, and Doom Balloon does building and base damage. Her insignia, I've outfitted her with Regen. Now, Regenerate is not only going to give her extra energy to make sure she's ready to proc or activate her skill when it's time, but it's going to help with her healing. In fact, it's going to help 100% with her healing. Because of this, Commo is a deadly hero. We go to Victory Lunge. I did an enchantment video a while back. Victory Lunge is an enchantment that I recommend for any hero that you're putting out in front who's taking damage. She's going to be doing more damage to the enemy and also reflecting damage back at them. We look at her Destiny bonus. She's at Destiny of 40. You can see her additions to her statistics. And we go down to her breakthrough levels. Right now I've got Commodore at breakthrough level 6. I have the ability to, at the moment, with these, what are they, igniting stones, I can take her up, I can add might with some Zenith stones, this, that, and the other thing. But as far as might is concerned, let me just back out. My goal was to hit 600,000. That's it. Not to maintain any kind of a ranking on the leaderboard. I said maybe 1 or 2 videos ago that I was going to go up to 610 because I had resources to spend and I want to get my favorite heroes up as high as possible. I was trying to get to 610, but mathematically it was impossible with the options that I was given in terms of might development. Yeah, maybe it's a little bit weird, but I'm kind of a numbers person, so I went with a palindrome. 611116, the same number backwards and forwards. Let's take another look down in the hero altar, and let's move to hero number 2. Lazulix. He is the newest addition to the game as of January 6th. Now, Lazulix is an interesting character. He summons a shield. It's a shield that grants him invulnerability for a certain period of time. It's important to keep in mind that the shield does not reflect damage against the enemy. It's not like a flame guard. It just prevents Lazulix from taking damage. He does 350% attack to the enemy. He freezes. He throws up a giant, almost nuclear explosion that destroys everything around it. The guy is practically a one-man army. I have paired him with the talent Sacred Light. My opinion, it's the number 1 talent for Laz. It increases his health and reduces the damage that he's taking. He is the kind of character that you put up in front that creates that wall against the enemy, so give him more health, give him damage reduction, and keep him alive. Now, typically, I would pair Laz with Rudolph, and that's what I've done here. He's defending my base in Guild Wars right now. He is part of the Green Warden faction, and the Green Warden is wonderful in terms of healing your heroes, especially when they're constantly being attacked. His insignia. Typically, I'm going to be running Survival. Survival helps to negate damage, so when his shield drops, hopefully Survival is going to be activating and this guy's not going to be taking damage whatsoever. It's also going to give him the ability to heal. This is essential for keeping him alive, and also so he synergizes with the rest of the team. While he's holding back the enemy, the rest of your team is hitting them from a distance. He's got Victory Lunge again for the damage reflect as well as the damage bonus. There's his destiny, level 40. We go back, and we can see he's got a breakthrough level of 6. Look at attributes. That's what we're adding to Laz during the breakthrough process up to level 6. Back out again. Let's move on to hero number 3. Hero number 3 of my Sweet 16. Gorgon. Now, there's some contention about Gorgon. Some will say that he got benched, that he's been retired, that he's not as effective a hero as he once was. For me, personally, as a player, my number 1 game mode, in fact, the only game mode that I can really acquire resources that I'm going to be able to use, that game mode is Infernal Summit. In order to blind the enemy, in order to reduce their accuracy, their ability to hit, in order to keep my heroes alive in Infernal Summit 4, I will often use Gorgon. This is also why I have paired him with a survivability talent, damage reduction, Sacred Light. Let's look at his skill. He does a tremendous amount of damage. He increases his critical rate. So basically every strike that he's given out during that time period is going to be ×2. But the man throws out a blinding effect. And that blinding effect causes the accuracy of the enemy to become practically 0. They're not going to be able to hit. They're not going to be able to react. As of the current date in the game, I believe that there's no hero who is immune to Gorgon's blind. This is why he's so essential in something like IS4. We look at his, he's got a skin. So we look at 2 different talents here. Now you're going to see a pattern with any hero where the hero has been given a skin or a cosmetic change that allows he, she, or it to carry 2 talents. I set up all my talents in the same manner. I give the character 1 offensive talent, and 1 defensive talent. This means that 1 hero is able to do 2 completely different things, and I don't have to necessarily have 2 Demo Gorgons. I remember maybe 2-3 years ago, attack, at least in my neck of the woods, attack was the number 1 thing that we were going for. Then the game started to change, and it became more survivability. Keep your hero out on the board, keep the skill running, keep the hero proccing. Many created 2 of each. You know, you got 2 Anubises, you've got 2 Pumpkin Dukes. At that time in the game, I still stuck with the attack. I still stuck with the 1 talent that I thought would be best for any situation. But when the skins came out, I was able to go with 1 offensive and 1 defensive. This way I'm not looking around for my specific Demo Gorgon. I can always just grab this guy and know. With 1 touch of a button, this will reduce my might by 20. And there goes my palindrome. I can switch to his offensive talent. Offensively, I would recommend Brute Force. It is going to increase his critical attack damage. He can clear an entire insane dungeon by himself with this. I've not yet taken it to 9 because I use Sacred Light the majority of the time. So offense, defense, my 2 recommendations. Now, I have a specific pet on him right now. It's only because of the setups I was running earlier. For Demo, I would always recommend AVR pet. AVR is that pet that does a silence on the enemy, very similar to Demo's Blind. It pairs very, very well. For his insignia, now I have to go with an insignia that's always different than the talent. If you choose the same insignia as the talent, they will negate one another. Only one will work. The other will be erased or canceled. So I went with a Zealous Drive. Gives him a little bit of extra range, a little bit more attack, and helps to reduce his damage by 40%. Keep him alive. Victory Lunge once again. Destiny bonus of 40. Going down to Breakthrough, I see level 6. Attributes. Going back to the Hero's Altar. Let's look at hero number 4. This would be the bonus hero, the 16th hero on the Sweet 16 list, and that's Pumpkin Duke. Pumpkin Duke is somebody who I use less and less often as the game progresses, but he's still vital, still essential. There are certain game modes that you just can't do without Pumpkin Duke. Pumpkin is a guy I wouldn't be defending a base with. I wouldn't be throwing him out in the middle of combat. He's a buffer. He gives your team speed and attack increase. Here he is at Destiny level 12. The stats that he provides to your team, the buffs, the increases, it's a game changer. He has no cooldown. Thereby, I gave him Regenerate. Now, Regenerate allows him to continually gain energy, and if somebody's out there healing, then maybe he's going to benefit from that as well. On the other side, the flip side, remember 1 offensive, 1 defensive, I consider Regenerate offensive for him because it's when he's attacking. Other side, I got Sacred Light. There's a reason for that. Sacred Light is going to keep him alive. Through the Forgotten Trial series, I always use Sacred Light Pumpkin Duke. Kept him alive long enough that he was actually able to help the team. On Pumpkin Duke, I usually do have Eulophant, and I have him attached to Eulophant right now. Eulophant is going to give him a shield and increase his ability to dodge the stun towers. It's going to allow him to proc and knock it all stunned up. Because he has no cooldown, I went with the Insignia of Empower. It's going to give him more and more energy. Here's his equipment. No cooldown, increases attack speed with Unbridled Fury. Destiny bonus of 40. Breakthrough. He is at level 6-1. Let's go back to the altar. We move on to our next hero, Anubis. Anubis is one of the strongest heroes in the game. Although the guy got released maybe 2.5 years ago, he is still a member of the Sweet 16. I believe that he will be there for quite some time. Anubis is a guy who does damage to 100 enemies at a time. He gains silence and calamity invulnerability. Ares' skill can't work on him. He does damage equal to his HP. He can revive, come back from the dead 3 times. Keeping in mind that the revive talent or the revive crest or insignia will not allow him to revive a 4th time. There he is at skill level 12. Here are the talents that I recommend for him. Right now he's in Guild Wars defense mode. He's guarding my base. I have Sacred Light, the defensive talent up, reducing his damage and increasing his health. His offensive talent, number 1 choice, has got to be Unholy Pact. He is increasing his attack by 190%. The man just nukes the enemy. And once you get it up to skill level 9, the initial increase in damage that you take, and I believe that was 20%, it drops down to 15%, making it a little bit easier to stomach. As far as the pet I would usually run on Anubis, and I do have him equipped with this, it's Reapster. Reapster is a pet that does damage and then summons a shade, sort of like Michael's Archangel. It's a little sprite to fight alongside. But that shade is only summoned when the hero dies. Anubis can die 3 times. This is why Reapster goes so well with Anubis. First time Anubis dies, Reapster summons the shade, and Anubis comes back to life and starts fighting. It's a way to get around the trick of the shade here. In terms of crests, I would typically be running Empower like I am right now. There's a reason. Anubis is an auto proc hero. That means Anubis doesn't have to take damage in order to activate his skill. He can sit on the base like he's doing right now. When you drop your heroes from the edge of the screen, a few moments later, he's going to be attacking you before you've even arrived. Empower is essential to keep his energy up and to get that auto proc working. I put Victory Lunge because he is a tank, a damage dealer. There's his Destiny bonus. Let's go to Breakthrough. We are at 6-5 right now. Breakthrough 6-5. Next leap is Breakthrough 7. You're going to see that I don't have a single hero in my altar that is above maybe Breakthrough level 7-5. I have no hero that is at Breakthrough level 8. There's his attributes. We go back into the hero's altar. Go past my wall of Ronins. 1 for every extra space I had in the altar. And we go to our next hero on the Sweet 16, Gunslinger. Gunslinger is a character that spawns these little helicopters. They have scatter. They reduce the enemy's damage. They also go after the enemy. She can sit on a base. Meanwhile, her copters go flying out. Now, I've heard a lot of talk about Gunslinger over the years. You shouldn't pair Gunslinger with this talent or that talent. Gunslinger's only form of attack are her copters. This is not true. Focus in on Gunslinger. Really zoom in during her attack process. She attacks in 3 different ways simultaneously. She sends out her copters. She fires a rocket. And she uses her pistol that's at her side. You will see that she summons a Warflyer. And then a Warflyer not only does damage, but reduces the energy on the enemy. This is why. Offensively, I have given her an attack boost for her little pistol And for her rocket that she fires, I have given her a reduction in damage. Now, the damage reduction, to my knowledge, does not stack with already her 90% less damage for 2.4 seconds. But in the time that the skill is not activating, you're going to get that damage reduction. Defensively, and I'll go back to that because she's defending my base right now. I'm going to give her Sacred Light. So, Sacred Light, Zealous Drive. I wouldn't go so far as to put a War God or Unholy Pact on her. And the reason is, when she does fire off, the enemy might have something like a Flame Guard, and that can send the damage back at her and cause her to die. So you can give her a little bit of a boost in attack and not worry about it, but don't make her a true damage dealer without consulting the encyclopedia. All right, in terms of a pet, typically I would run Persalot on Gunslinger. Now, Persalot is a pet that debuffs the enemy. It reduces their energy, pairs very well with her War Flyers. You're going to be reducing the energy of the enemy to a greater degree. I'm going to be running Survival on her. Now, Survival is going to give her the ability to heal herself and to negate damage. Her equipment, Victory Lunge. Give her a little bit of extra attack. If she gets attacked, reflect a little bit back at the enemy. Her Destiny. There she is at Breakthrough 6. There are attributes. Let's go back. Next one. Skeletica. Skeletica is one of those dragons like Demo Gorgon that you have to either win in an event or flat out pay for. At this point in the game, they're offering Skeletica, I've seen as low as $10. As far as Skelly is concerned, you can also get him from a number of events. Apparently, Uncover the Treasures gives out Skelly, but again, it's like hitting the moon with a beach ball. You're not going to be able to do it. But if you want to plunk down $10, you're going to have yourself a wonderful hero that's going to see you through the game. Skelly is a person who does fixed damage to the enemy, so he's going to be doing his attack plus another 44,000. He heals himself. He's immune to stun, a whole bunch of other stuff. He's got fast energy recovery, the whole 9 yards. I have paired him with an offensive and a defensive talent. Now, offensively, I gave him Zealous Drive. I like the attack increase, very helpful in game modes like Labyrinth, Lost Battlefield, giving him that extra range. He is a ranged hero. It's going to give you extra attack and reduce damage. On the other side, I gave him Sacred Light. Keep him alive longer as the defensive talent. Typically, I would be running Little Havoc on him. Little Havoc's a pet that reduces the attack of the enemy, and I think that it combines very well with what Skeletica is doing. Skeletica is an auto proc hero. He does not have to take damage in order to activate his skill. He can do it from afar as the enemy is approaching him. Empower makes that possible. 5/5 Victory Lunge. Destiny bonus of 40. Breakthrough of 6. Attributes. Next hero. On the Sweet 16, Walla Walla. Walla Walla is my main healer. Walla is, I believe, an utterly essential hero to have in this game. He is going to heal your team. He is going to attack the enemy. He's going to reduce the movement speed of the enemy by 90%, making him slow down to a crawl, nearly a standstill. Walla, I typically would pair with Sacred Light. It's going to keep him alive. This is his defensive talent. Offensively, I went with Zealous Drive. Now, typically, I'm not using that. I look at Walla Walla as primarily a buffing hero. I just want to keep him alive as long as possible. But the Zealous Drive option, it gives him a little bit more range, it gives him a little bit more damage, and there's nothing wrong with that. As far as Walla's typical pet, I outfit him with Phoenix. Now, he is guarding my Guild Wars base right now with a different pet, but typically it would be Phoenix that I would recommend. Phoenix reduces the movement speed of the enemy, and so does Walla Walla. The two synergize or work in tandem with one another. Walla is an auto-proc hero. You see the pattern developing. Auto-proc heroes in this game can be game changers. He is going to gain energy through the use of an Empower Signia, and as soon as that energy reaches max, he's going to proc, whether or not the enemy's near him or not. Equipment, Victory Lunge again, Destiny level of 40. Go back to the hero. We are at Breakthrough 6. There are his attributes, gains from Breakthrough. Let's move on to our next hero in the Sweet 16. We move to Sasquatch. Sasquatch is just the true definition of a tank. The man can go head-to-head with pretty much anybody. At Destiny level 12, he creates a stun, a freeze that's nearly permanent. Anybody who gets in his way is just going to get freezed up. The damage he puts out is incredible, and he also heals himself. You'll see the insignia that I paired with him. As far as talents are concerned, I went with Unholy Pact. I want him to do as much damage as possible. That's his offensive talent. Now, because he heals himself and does so regularly, I felt okay about having the extra damage increase that Unholy Pact gives. Other side, I've got Sacred Light. Sacred Light to keep the guy alive, use him in Forgotten Trials, dungeons, this, that, and the other thing. As far as Sass's normal pet, and I've got him outfitted with that right now. I was running some dungeon experiments earlier. I put him with Glacy. Now, Glacy is a pet that only attacks buildings. Glacy doesn't attack heroes. Glacy will freeze up stun towers, arrow towers. Glacy creates a path of movement that Sasquatch can run through. He's a wonderful pair to Sasquatch and his abilities. Let's take a look at the equipment. We got a 5 Victory Lunge. We got a 40 Destiny bonus. Sass is sitting at 6 Breakthrough. Era's Breakthrough stats. Let's move on to our next hero. I see a Thane sitting up there, middle of the screen top. She is not one of the heroes that I recommend from my Sweet 16. She is unfortunately the last hero I had to remove from the Sweet 16. When they introduce a new hero in the game, if that hero is good enough to make my main team, 15 for Lost Battlefield, and the addition of Pumpkin Duke, then I have to take one hero out. The hero I took out most recently was Athene, and replaced her with Laz. I did this because I've been able to get enough Empower insignias that her ability, the ability to give energy to friendly heroes, it's really become redundant. So I was able to drop her from the team. We go to our next hero, and we got ourselves Dovekeeper. Dovekeeper is one of the best. I'm going to say, if I had to put a list together, I'm going to say she's absolutely a top 3 hero. Dovekeeper, just like Gunslinger, spawns. She spawns a bunch of little sprites that fight for her. These are little doves. They do horrific damage against the enemy. Critical damage. Her attack is increased, and she has a fixed damage cap. So if you hit her for 1,000,000 damage, she's only going to be taking 18,000. It'll never be more than that. Until her skill is no longer activating. Over here on talents, I outfitted her offensively with Unholy Pact. I have no problem whatsoever with her taking an extra 15% damage. Her damage cap, most of the time, prevents her from taking any more than that anyway. Defensively, I went with Life Drain. Now, I'll be totally honest with you. I'm not 100% thrilled with the results that Life Drain 9 is giving me. I might change this eventually. Defensively, I think she's a hard hero to choose for. If you put like a Sacred Light on her, you're going to find that it does absolutely nothing in reducing the damage cap. If you put a Survival on her, and that was certainly an option, giving her the ability to heal, well, do you really need to have Survival 9 when you've got an 8 insignia? So I went with Life Drain. Now, unfortunately, the Life Drain does not work with the doves. When her doves are out across the board fighting the enemy, she's not gaining life. She's got to be up in their face. This is the downside of Life Drain. So I typically am running Unholy Pact. Now let's take a look at what pet I put on her. Where are you? Typically it would be Mini Angie. She's not defending my base right now. I just find too many people stack on our doves, constantly hit the doves that she sends out, thereby increasing their ability to proc or gain energy. I'm running a kind of a different setup these last couple of days. Right now, with Mini Angie on her, she's going to be healing herself. It's going to help to keep her alive, and that's really what you want to do. Keep her alive as long as possible, and that's where the Survival insignia comes in. It's going to negate damage, not going to take any damage at all, and in addition, she's going to get a huge health increase, huge healing bonus. Got Victory Lunge 5, a 40 Destiny. Let's take a look down here at Breakthrough. She and one other hero are at my highest level of Breakthrough. Okay, I misspoke earlier. I said that my highest level of Breakthrough was 7-5. I made it to 8, so I was off by one step. Okay, I do have two characters that are level 8. Right now at level 8, she is at Breakthrough attributes. You can see, my gosh, she's getting 41,000 health, helping to keep her alive even longer. We go back to the Heroes Altar. Let's take a look. Next hero on our Sweet 16, Serena. Now, Serena is a character that brings others back from the dead. She's a reviver. She replaced Triantar as far as I'm concerned. She's like Triantar 2.0. She's going to do damage to the enemy. She's going to revive everybody. And she's also going to heal. So what we have here in terms of talent, I gave her Zealous Drive for a little bit of extra attack, a little bit of damage reduction. The defensive talent is Sacred Light. I haven't leveled it up to 9. If you see that there are some talents that I have at 8, it's because I'm not 100% sold on the idea of the talent that I may have chosen. IGG, Castle Clash, they tend to release new talents. I remember the horrific debacle I went through with Pumpkin Duke. I was running a Berserk 5 of 5 for a little while. Then they came out with talent level 6, 7, and 8, and I was cursing the system, saying, oh, I just had my Pumpkin Duke perfect. Now I got to do this. I get Pumpkin Duke's Berserk up to level 8, and then all of a sudden they introduce Empower, which grants far more energy than Berserk would. Berserk grants no energy. It just makes the Pumpkin Duke faster. And then I had to replace the Zerk 8 with Empower. I'm sure there's plenty of other Castle Clashers who know exactly what I'm talking about. Then about 2 weeks later, they replace Empower with Regenerate. So some of these talents, while I recommend them based on what talents are available right now, I have yet to take them up to 9 because that's a big step. It's a big cost. I got to be 100% sure. And I would recommend this to anybody who's got some level 9 talent runes. Make 100% sure that you're choosing the right talent. So I love the extra range that Zealous Drive gives. We go over to her Cress. Now, she's amazing in 2 different ways. I'm running Regenerate on her to increase her heal, to increase her energy. But she can also be run with an Empower insignia. She is an auto proc hero. She will attack from a distance without actually being attacked. So you have two different insignias that you could use for Serena: Empower or also Regenerate. I'm using Silencing Shot for the extra range. That paired with Zealous Drive, it's going to give her a +2 range. Destiny bonus of 40. Going down here, and we got ourselves a breakthrough level of 6. Error attributes. Let's go back to the Heroes Altar. Oh, pet on Serena. I typically put Bublo. Bublo is a healing pet. That's all he does, really. He's going to heal a few of the heroes out on the board and keep her alive. Storm Meter. He's the next hero in my Sweet 16. Storm Meter is a hero that just totally shuts down the enemy. When they put out Medusa was a hero that would stun everybody, reduce their energy, totally shut down a lost battlefield team. Storm Meter is Medusa 2.0, maybe 2.5. So he's going to do a shock pillar damage. He's going to stun everybody up. He's going to give them a heck of a lot of damage. They're going to be all messed up by the time he's done. I gave him 2 different kinds of talents, one offensive and one defensive. Zealous Drive for the extra range. I think that is most important because he's one of my primary heroes when it comes to shutting down the enemy quick. Cress, because I want to shut down the enemy quickly. I want to stun him up. I put Revitalize. This means he's got 100% energy at the start of battle. He also gets a 70% attack increase. Guy's going to fire off immediately. Silencing Shot for the extra range. Paired with Zealous Drive, you're looking at a +2. Destiny bonus of 40. There he is at breakthrough level 6. There are his attributes. Let's go back to the Heroes Altar. As far as Storm Meter is concerned, I typically pair him with Piblob. Piblob is a pet that reduces the accuracy of the enemy, not allowing them to hit. They move around kind of confused and blind. It pairs well with his stun. Not only are they unable to move for a certain number of seconds, but when they finally come out of it, they are basically too confused to attack you. Go to our next hero on the Sweet 16, and we've got Lazulix. Lavanica. They're both blue and dragons. Lava is another one who is one of those purchase dragons, or if you're lucky enough to hit the moon, then you can pick him up in perhaps by uncovering some eggs or some boxes. Lavanica is a one-man army, very much like Dovekeeper, one of the top heroes in the game. He's doing damage. He's turning into a magma dragon. He's paralyzing people. The man's got, it's practically a book, his skill description. He's got fixed damage of no more than 10,000 per hit while it's being activated. Sacred Light is not going to reduce that 10,000 damage cap, but when his skill is not activated, it's going to be giving him a damage reduction. Typically, that is my defensive talent, and I would be running offensively a Unholy Pact, #1 talent for this man. The extra damage he takes is pretty much negated by the fact he's got a damage cap, just like Dovekeeper. He's going to be able to one-shot the majority of heroes that are available in the game. Maybe about 10 of them are going to be prevented from that one shot, but he's got the other 56, no problem. He's guarding my base right now. Let me put Sacred Light back on him. Lavanica, typically I'm running Chickaboom. Chickaboom is a pet that fires off a rocket. When that rocket hits the enemy takes 5 times more damage. With Lavanica, this pairs very, very well. He's typically up in the face of people. Sometimes 4 or 5 heroes are attacking him simultaneously. Well, every time one of those heroes gets hit with a rocket, then his own attack is going to be increased by 5. Hero takes 5 times the amount of damage. We go to Cress. I have a survival on him. The only thing Lavanica's missing in terms of skill ability is the ability to heal. He does not have that skill ability, but with the survival insignia, he can now heal. 5/5 victory lunge. Destiny of 40. And we go down here. And just like my Dove Keeper, he is a level 8. There are only 2 heroes in my breakthrough roster, if you will, that are at 8. And I took the 2 that I think do the most damage, that have the greatest survivability. Sort of went priority with Lava and with Dove. Here are his attributes at level 8. We back out, go back in one more time, and we're going to have ourselves Asura. Now, Asura is a relatively new character. He does damage. He reduces the energy of the enemy. He also puts up a shield, and he deflects 50% of the damage being done to him. I paired him with Vital Boon. I think it's his best talent. Asura needs to be getting hit in order to reflect damage. Vital Boon only activates when you're being attacked. It's going to give him extra health. He's going to debuff the enemy, take away their powers, take away their abilities and skills. And he's going to stay alive a lot longer. I also have, and again, I'm not 100% sold on it, so I kept it at level 8. I have Sacred Light as his defensive talent. Under Crest, I have Survival. Again, only thing this boy is missing is the ability to heal himself. Well, now he has that. 5/5 Victory Lunge, Destiny bonus of 40. Typically, the pet that I would be running on Asura, let me look at my notes here. It's Celestin. Celestin is a hero, a pet that debuffs the enemy. And just like our skill, our talent, Vital Boon, we are going to be not only debuffing 3 nearby enemies, but the pet's also going to be debuffing another one as well. We go to his breakthrough. He's at breakthrough level 6. You can see his attributes that are added to his base stats. Let's go back in. We're almost done. Number 15 on my Sweet 16. Mahatma. Mahatma is a very long-ranged fighter. She also has an incredible attack speed. She removes energy, does damage, is immune to stun, fear, increases her attack speed by 100%, takes less damage, has fast energy recovery. She's like a machine gun. I paired her with Zealous Drive. I think it's her best talent because it's going to increase her range, allowing her to hit from a distance. She's not somebody I would put up in front. I'd keep her in the back to debuff the enemy. I also have her with Sacred Light, but again, I'm not 100% sold on that. Maybe IGG in a month from now is going to come out with something different, but I don't think they're going to be replacing Zealous Drive anytime soon. This is the crest I gave her. I gave her an 8 brute force. It increases her attack. It also gives her a great deal of critical damage in battle. She can just waste anybody. Now, if you're going to go the brute force route like I did with her, or I did with Demo Gorgon as his offensive talent, you're going to have your traits set to critical. I did so with Mahatma as well as a few other heroes that we'll get to as we progress with these videos. But unless you're going to be running traits that allow critical damage to even happen, then brute force is going to be a waste. So you've got to have those crit traits like I do on Mahatma. Silencing Shot. Now with Zealous Drive, she's getting a +2 range. There's her Destiny bonus. The typical pet that I would run on Mahatma is Draco. Draco reduces the energy and the ability of the enemy to produce energy. Pairs very well with her abilities. We go to Breakthrough. We are at level 6 Breakthrough with Mahatma, and you can see the attributes that are added to her base stats. We got ourselves one more. We got 69 messages. Sweet Lord. We got ourselves one more. And that is our buddy Bogeyman. Again, a relatively newer hero in the game. Bogeyman is a sniper. he is, in my opinion, the best sniper in the game. By sniper, I mean you put him out in the corner of the board, and all of a sudden, the bad guys who are on the base, they just disappear. He's like a long distance rifle. So he's doing all of this damage. He's reviving. He's got a damage cap against reflected damage. A whole bunch of stuff. Enmity is his skill. I felt perfectly at ease with putting Unholy Pact on him. Unholy Pact, even with the 15% extra damage he's taking, it more than justifies the attack increase that this man's getting. I'm having the hardest time picking a defensive talent for Bogeyman. I think survival would be wonderful, keep him alive a little bit longer, give him the ability to heal, but I've got survival insignias. I'm not sold on what I think I'm going to do defensively on this guy. I'll let you know if it ever changes. As far as his insignias are concerned, I am running him right now with a Empower. He is an auto proc hero. He does not have to be attacked in order to unleash his skill ability. The Empower is going to fill him up, allow him to hit others before he's even hit. Victory Lunge, Destiny of 40. The typical pet that I would be running on him is the new pet, Punching Box. Punching Box does an incredible amount of damage. It also buffs the damage of heroes around Bogey. And let's see, here we go into our breakthrough levels. We've got a breakthrough level of 6 on Bogey. And there are his additional statistics added to his base stats. Okay, let's try to review. We've got ourselves a Hero's Altar with many, many, many different options. But if you're going to try to make it through this game with the least investment as possible, with the ease of use, very user-friendly way to do it, pick 16 heroes. You're covered in every single game mode that Castle Clash offers. And in addition, you've got yourselves a great Pumpkin Duke. Think about using some of these talents. While I only recommend them, I'm not going to say I'm any kind of an expert. Each one of these talents has been proven very, very effective in combat as well as in defense. Collect this fame. Let's have a little fun during our last couple of minutes of this video. Let's go into the Guild Hub. Let's go to Guild Turf. Remember in the last video, Magic Bureau. Enter. Moxie. 20% damage reduction to my heroes for the next hour. I've got base defenders up. I've got a Guild Wars base set up. Let's do this. It's going to cost me my troops, but that's okay. Let's do some hero trials. Let's go to hard. Let's go to Siren first. Hero trial 9. 10 is locked. Alright, let's see how we do. We're set up for defense. I'll run this at a little faster speed. Alright, Siren's dead. There's L9. I might be the first person in history to actually win one of those red level 9 talent runes. It would be wonderful to be able to catch that on video. We're taking on Candy Cane. Let's see how we do. Ah, she's dead. Okay. Oh, we got 63 gems. Wonderful. Let's go for our buddy Warlock. Now, he attacks from quite a distance. He might blow up my buildings before the heroes actually die. We got him. Very nice. Let's see. These are easy heroes. Let's move on. Let's see how we do. I'm not set up for a Here Be Monsters challenge, but let's try anyway. Let's start with AH. I'll probably get crushed. because I've not set up for this particular game mode, but we'll run it at 4 times speed and see how we do. So far, so good. If we lose buildings, we lose even if our heroes are alive. You can see because of the auto procs, the enemies, many of them are just getting wiped out before they're even attacking my heroes. Now we're down to the final boss. Give him a few more seconds and he should be dead. And there we go. Let's run an AI. Now, as far as my experience with AI, AI is primarily a Here Be Monsters stage that focuses on building health. Again and again and again, my buildings would get destroyed, but all 6 of my heroes would be alive. I think that AI is more centered around just trying to keep your buildings up. You should have full troops. You should have a specific base setup, specific heroes. I'll just give it a try. I suspect that we're going to get nuked right away. Buildings are going to get destroyed probably by stage 2 or stage 3. But we're really just focusing in on heroes. What can this Sweet 16 do? Look at all those buildings get smashed. AI 3 is done. We've got only 3 little buildings left. That's not good. They're going to come from the left. I know it. Oh, we got a nice spawn. A lot of this has to do with luck. It's RNG. It's a random number generation. And there we go. If the heroes had come from the top of the board, those 3 buildings would have lived. I got through AI by simply playing it a couple of times until a building survived. One little tip, you can often stash a building in the corner, all 4 corners, and hope that you can get through the 5 stages without that building getting destroyed. Let us try. Are our heroes dead? Anybody's dead. Let's see. 1 hero dead. 2 hero. Okay, at the end of AI, only 3 out of the 6 heroes were actually killed. Let's move on to, let's do some dungeons. I was running Insane 7 just as experiments. Let's try Insane 610 first. Now, I have no Pumpkin Duke. I've got no Minotaur. I'm not necessarily using a dungeon team here. My goodness, I have Gunslinger in. She is the antithesis of a dungeon hero. But we'll see how this team does with just no setup whatsoever, no time, just user-friendly, just let it rock and roll. We'll start with Asura out on the board. Use our spells, and we'll see what happens. We might get crushed. We might crush them. Who knows? Taking on some big demons in the center. Looks like my lava's tanking on that demon. That's real nice. Oh, my Laz is just wrecking shop. None of my heroes are even taking any damage. Look at them, full health bars, everybody. All we have to do is wipe out the buildings. We're at 97%. Here comes Anubis to the rescue to take out those stun towers. You can see Chickaboom firing off. And bada bing. Let's go back, pick up some spells. Let's try again. Insane 7-10. Now, without a Pumpkin Duke, I don't know how well we're going to do. I think we're going to have some kind of buffer. With the particular hero selection I have right now, I don't know if we're going to be able to make it. But it's fun nonetheless. Let's see how we do. This is the very final stage of all the dungeons in the game. You can see how the enemy is being vaporized before we even reach them. This is on account of Anubis, Lavanica, Walla Walla. Each one of these heroes is doing damage from a distance. Remember the auto proc heroes that we're using, like Walla and Anubis. There are no more enemies left. All we've got is some building cleanup. We have a couple of little Ronins hiding down there at the bottom. They're nearly dead. Oh, that's just sad for Ronin. Oh, he's done. The rest of the stage is just going to be slowly destroying buildings. And we made it. Very happy about that. Remember your Moxie flags. Always remember your Moxie flags if you're trying to go forward into the dungeons. So, the Sweet 16, brought to you by JudiciousFire. When they release a new hero in a couple of weeks, I'm going to have to reevaluate that 16. Is it going to be a hero that could perhaps replace Pumpkin Duke? Is it going to be a hero that could even replace somebody like Anubis or Walla, who's been out for a little while? As a new hero comes in, I have to unfortunately jettison one of the older ones. But I'm always keeping that team of 16 fully buffed, fully upgraded, ready to rock and roll at any time. I want to thank everybody. I got some nice comments up on YouTube. I got some nice comments through Line, also through the game. Appreciate anybody who's willing to take the time to sit through the 30 to 60 minute in-depth analysis on Castle Clash. I'd love to talk this game. This is not a monetized channel by any means. It's just for fun. I think it comes from the fact that people in the game ask me questions, and I'm always happy to answer them. Probably better to answer them to a larger audience and not just to individuals. So that's where the initial reason for making this channel came from. You all have a wonderful evening. Have yourselves a good Sunday night, and I'll catch you next time with the next video. See ya. Bye-bye.